Hi, everyone, and welcome into my live. I am on day 20 of 60 days going live. And I am trying to tell you, going live on the weekends, I can tell is going to be my biggest challenge. You know, the weekends, believe it or not, life happens. And today was a great Saturday. It was a long Saturday. I have been on the road for hours, at least 10 hours. And with my dad, my intentions were to go live earlier with him while we were driving. But sometimes, and I know other content creators have said this before, but sometimes you just want to enjoy the moment without pulling out your camera, without pulling out your recorder or whatever device you're going to use, your phone, when you're with someone or experiencing something and you just want to be. And that's how I felt when my dad and I were driving. I just wanted to be. I just wanted to be in his presence. I mean, we absolutely could have recorded our conversation because I do enjoy hearing all the things and I had some great questions. But I don't know. I just wanted to enjoy him and get where we were going. I see Ace Florida Fly One is in the building. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. I hope you had a great Saturday so far, a great week, especially. I know for many of us, it was a long week, a very interesting week. And I just feel like I've been on the move. And I don't feel like me being on the move is going to slow down until probably August or September. So I'm just trying to really get myself together for all of that. Happy Saturday, Brown Gal Peace Lounge. Happy Saturday to you. I hope you're doing great. I did notice you had a new upload earlier. I wasn't able to watch it, but I am definitely going to put it on my watch list. Every month, I put together a watch later list, and I'll title it that month and year. And I'll put videos in there. I'll just drop them in there so I can view them later. And that seems to really help. It helps me stay caught up. It helps me to get connected to new people. If I see something that's interesting that YouTube may have suggested for me, it works out where, I can always find it because sometimes when they suggest the video, it's hard to find it again in the future if you don't somehow tag it, pull it, share it, or something. So I'm definitely going to do that. Oh, yeah, my pleasure. Absolutely. And I'm glad you all are here. This is Something Else Saturday. Just Saturdays are something else, aren't they? They are a little bit of this, that, and the other. And today did not disappoint for this Saturday to be something else. Again, I enjoyed my time with my dad. I'll be with him tomorrow. We're staying overnight. Listen, y'all, it took us about 2 hours to find a hotel because there's a AAU tournament, basketball tournament going on in the town that we're in or the city that we're in. And I don't know why. I just thought it was going to be just this so simple process. You know, we're in the town, they have plenty of hotels. So let's just get a hotel. And every hotel we stopped at, called, or looked up, or whatever, they were all booked. And so we finally found one. And this one is actually closest to the hospital where my father's sister is at. So, oh, yes, we did. We made it here safely, Olivia Love. Good to see you today. Hope you had a good Saturday. Did you go to any football games for your sons or anything like that today? I know Saturdays when my children were younger, especially this time of year, oh yeah, we were traveling. We were doing AAU basketball. My son was probably playing basketball or even practicing football or baseball. I think this is baseball season too. So my kids played all kind of sports: baseball, softball, ball, basketball, football, cheerleading, dance, gymnastics, just everything you could think of. And our days were always so busy. But what I would tell a young family is, don't let your days be so busy that you miss out on really important family occasions. A lot of coaches always act like, oh, if they miss this game, it's going to be really bad because X, Y, and Z is going to be there. Or if they miss this tournament, it's going to really hurt the team because they're such an important role on the team and all that. And that might be the case, but a lot of times, what's going on with the family, it could be a wedding, a family reunion, a funeral, an anniversary party, anything like that, you can never get back. You can never get that time back. And I know for us, we missed a lot of things because of really sports. And it's, I'll say this: sports definitely built up a lot of character in my children, and the things that they learned in sports has taken them so far in their careers and their education. And that's one thing I can say. I remember, when my husband played, and his work ethic, his practice ethic was so strong. And my father always would say to him, "Listen, if you keep that same ethic when you retire and go into business, you're going to be successful." And that is the truth. Like, if you have played any sport, you have to practice. If you played any sport and you want to be a starter, you have to do something extra so that you can be that number one. If you've played any sport and you were that number one, you knew that you had to continue sharpening your skills so you could remain number one. And that's how it is in business. That's how it is in education. That's how it is in the real world. And it really saddens me when I see former athletes not carry over those same habits into their next chapters in life. And a while ago, I had mentioned that I had a sports blog radio show, and the platform was called Talk to Me Sports Radio. And what I did was, for my time slot, I used to talk to former athletes that either played in high school, college, or professional, and talk to them about life after sports. What kind of careers did they have, how sports helped them and propelled their careers. And it was a really, really good show. I mean, I interviewed scouts and coaches, managers of teams from all over the world, literally. Just some really good interviews, conversations. And they all said, it's about that work ethic and carrying it over and going with that same type of intensity to be just as successful on off the field or off the court, in the real world. And when I see people that, you know, are slacking, not on time, um, just not having that same energy, whether it's their forever career or not, it's like, I don't know, it does something to me. It's almost like, were you really an athlete? Because I mean, those are habits that you start to develop very early in age, like 8, 9, 10 years old. And that's a lot of years to put into something and then be able to just drop those habits that fast. But yeah, I was on that blog talk radio show. It was called Talk to Me Sports Radio. I think they still might have that show. Um, I did it for a couple of years, but it started to become very challenging for me to do, especially this time of year when my children had sports and we were out of town and we may not come back into town until Sunday evening. And my time slot was 9 p.m. Sunday night. And coming back from out of town, even if I did make it back, I may not have felt like doing it. And you had to adhere to your time slot. If you didn't do your time slot, you had to find a substitute, someone else, another broadcaster. And sometimes I wouldn't know how I really would feel until maybe an hour or so before my show. But you had to put your platform up, like what your topic and everything was going to be, almost like a pre-recorded live or premiere. Or how some people can schedule out their lives. Well, we had to schedule out what our show topics were going to be, but we all had our time slot. There was really not too much wiggle room with it. So if I didn't feel like doing it on a Sunday, but I wanted to do it on a Saturday or a Wednesday or a Thursday, I really couldn't do that. I had to, check out the boards and see if there was anything available, or put myself out there. They have a big Facebook group, and say, hey, I would like to do this time slot. Anybody want to swap or anything like that? And so that's kind of when I started leaning more towards YouTube, because YouTube is so flexible. Look, it's what time? 11:12, and I'm on. I could have come on at 11:12 a.m. and been just as good. So if you want to be a content creator, if you want to do a podcast, if you want to do something where you're doing interviews or DIYs or anything like that, and you don't really have time to adhere to a fixed schedule, YouTube is definitely good. I mean, yes, you do want to have some type of schedule where people can kind of count on you. But if you can't, if your lifestyle just does not allow for that, then that's still okay. And I see Slasher Chick just walked into the building. Yes, I made it safely. We are in a hotel. Took us 2 hours to find it, but we're here. And I see Miss Yo-Yo's Closet over 50 is in the building. I promise y'all, if y'all don't have each other, please be sure to connect on here on YouTube. Everyone on here has a channel and are good people. So definitely please connect with one another. I'm going to tell y'all, you know, and I think that's probably why I didn't record the conversation with my dad and I was really just trying to mellow out when I was driving, driving along when we were traveling, because I didn't know what to expect when we saw my aunt. This is my father's sister. He's one of 11, and it's just the two of them left out of 11. And they are very, very close siblings. And so, you know, I was just like not sure. She has dementia. She has some challenges, other challenges that just started. Like literally, she's 89 years old, and these health issues just started. And that's how life is. It's so fleeting. You could be fine one day, and then the next not. And so I was just really kind of trying to brace myself. And when we got to the hospital, the hospital is gorgeous. It looks like a it looks like a resort of sorts. It's beautiful. And when we walked into the room, I walked in, I believe, before my dad, and my aunt said, "Hi, Sherri," and I was like, "What?" It blew me away that she recognized me, because her mind comes and goes, and I was expecting, with all the changes physically and health wise that has gone on with her, I was like, she's not going to remember me. I was just really preparing myself to be okay with that, because this aunt has been so dope. And when I think about all the things that she's done for other people, for my family, my husband, my kids, my mother, my father, my parents' business, the things that she did that was over and beyond, without even a question, without even us having to ask her, without her saying, "What do you need me to do?" but just doing what she felt needed to be done. And it was always on point and on time. Whenever I think about how she used to live her life like that, it just fills me to know that, one day her person, her being, her physical being won't be here. And I mean, that's how it is for all of us. But I just get this feeling in my chest when I think about her, when I think about my father's other sister that passed away 2 years ago, when I think about my mother and her sisters, I just get this feeling. So I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't go. But it was a wonderful visit. My dad got to sit with her. We were all in the room together. Her three children were there, young adults. Well, they're older than me. These are my older cousins, but they're my first cousins. And we all grew up like brothers and sisters. Um, it just also seeing how they were caring for her, it reminded me of when I was caring for my mother. Just so nostalgic, you know. Um, I see everyone is speaking. All right. Thank you, everyone, for speaking. So, yeah, we stayed there for a good while. One of my grandsons came, one of my cousin's sons, and his girlfriend. They live in Brooklyn, and they made the journey here to come see her. It was really good to see him. He's an artist, photographer, just a very creative, and so is his girlfriend. And he does art shows all over the country, L.A., Texas. He was telling me about his time in Houston, and he's coming out with a book. A publisher had reached out to him not too long ago, and he has a book that's coming out. So I'm gonna pre-order it, and I'm excited for that. And it's interesting because our second or third generation, which is like my children and all my cousins' children, are very creative. That age group that's between 20 and 30, they have some creativity that is out of this world. I don't know if we had it too and it was just suppressed or what, but that age group in my family anyway, all of them have some type of creativity, either writing, photography, art. You know, photography is an art, but art, um, just putting things together in an organic way that is so dope, and I love to see it. I really do. I think my generation was really the first true teenagers, and we still had that traditional kind of swag to us because of who our parents are. We had more freedom, than our parents did in terms of exposure to things, access, definitely access to things, but we still had those traditional things like go to school, get a career, and be in that career forever. I think I'm the only cousin that has lived in a whole bunch of different places and has been exposed to so many different things and in business. Now, most of my cousins are very successful, they've had careers with basically the same organization or company probably their entire careers. They also may have businesses too, but they are very traditional where they, have had those businesses. And then as they have gotten older, they are now pivoting into things that they want to do and not what they had to do. And those things are typically on the creative spectrum. So it's pretty cool to see that. I see Sunshine Films is in the building. How are you? So good to see you. How's everything going? Are you back in LA? I did see that I think you were in Baltimore. Were you in Baltimore? You had a short and you were traveling. So I am in a really cool city. I'll let y'all know when I come back. But I'm loving it. This was actually our second choice of we either had a chance to be in Charlotte or this city. And when my husband, we were leaving New Orleans and he was a free agent, and he, knew it was coming towards the end of his career, and we were being very strategic of where we wanted to be. And so Baltimore called him and flew him out. And oh, I said it. I'm in Baltimore, y'all. That's why Sunshine Films, I was wondering where you were. But and then Charlotte also had called him, and we selected Charlotte, and I'm really happy. But I do love Maryland. My husband went to school in Maryland. I have a lot of line sisters in Maryland, and it's closer to where we're both from, New York and New Jersey. If we would have come here, it definitely would have been an easier commute, like for our families to see us and for us to see them more often. I see Tuber Chat Connect and Grow, And Olivia Love, Tuber Chat Connect and Grow was on that list as well that I gave you. He is definitely a connector of people, places, and things, mostly of channels here on YouTube. And his lives are definitely all about connecting. You'll meet some phenomenal content creators over there whenever he's live. I highly recommend that you connect with him. But I recommend you connect with everyone that's in the building. Sunshine Films, Brown Gal Peace Lounge, Slasher Chick, of course, Miss Yo-Yo's Closet over 50, as well as Ace Fly One. All, everyone here are really good people. So but I'm glad that I was able to keep my commitment to my 60-day live every day commitment. Today was hard. It was getting late. And like I said, it took us 2 hours to find a hotel. And I was already tired, before we even left. We were hungry, tired, and just a lot with travel. It was so much traffic coming up, but had great conversations with my dad. My dad is real cool. I enjoy talking with him and hearing his stories. I feel like I'm going to be the keeper of stories. You know how there's someone in every family that knows that knows everything. They know all the family stories, and I think that's what I'm going to be. Mhm. Yes, I'm glad too. And I really enjoyed your video today, Slasher Chick, your live, when you were talking about that channel that is actually going leaving YouTube. And I know that a lot of, not a lot, but I've heard of some other content creators saying how they were going to start a website and just really try to glean all the YouTube income over, on one other platform where they probably would get more profits. Yeah, I did all the things today. I did. I am Tuber Chat Connect and Grow. I am on a roll. And I really would love to be able to do all four things every day. I would love to, you know, re- pre record a video that's 3 to 8 minutes long. I would love to also upload a short that's less than a minute. I would love to post some kind of saying or something on my community wall, as well as the lives. Because when I look at my analytics, I really love seeing everything having growth or everything being utilized by viewers. I love to see that viewers are looking at my shorts. They're looking at my pre-recorded videos, and they're coming onto the lives. I'm noticing that my subscribers are growing in terms of viewership, because before it was such a small movement of subscribers that would view my videos, but a whole lot of people that were not subscribed. And now those two lines on my analytics are starting to catch up with one another. So to me, that's a win. To maybe tomorrow, depends on what time I get back. I do want to kind of go over what my analytics are looking like. That will be day 21 of 60, and I think that'll be appropriate since I started on a Monday to kind of see, do kind of a recap or review of what type of impact doing this type of challenge can have on your channel. I also wish I would have thought about it sooner, because I'm doing all of this before my channel turns Sweet 16 in June. And if I would have done something like this earlier in the year, then, who knows? Well, I do know I would be much further. So even if I don't make my 4,000 watch hours by June, by my Sweet 16, I know I'm going to do some type of challenge like this at least once a quarter. So 4 times a year for 30 days at least, maybe 60, but definitely 30 days. I'm going to do something intentional every day, like a live every day. I know a lot of people will do Vlogmas. I've done that before. Um, but with Vlogmas, it wasn't I wasn't saying, yes, I'm going to go live every day. I just uploaded every day. And that's typically what people do on Vlogmas. They just do some type of content every day. But I think doing the lives are more impactful every day than just putting up anything, because I'm gonna tell you, I do get more people subscribing to my channel from my shorts, but shorts are short. So they're not really giving you that watch time hours, And so you do have to kind of mix it all up. And that's the beauty of YouTube. It gives you all those options. Not too many other platforms give you as many options. And just think about it. Whatever your content is, if someone Googles it, not necessarily looking for your content in terms of, oh, I want to see what Slasher Chick has, but a video that you may have just created, and they are looking that video topic up on Google, your video will be one of the first things that comes up. It's not a TikTok video. It's not an Instagram video. It'll always be a YouTube video that pops up first. Now, down the line, you might see a TikTok or a Instagram or a Facebook video, but 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, those first few options on that first page are all going to be YouTube videos. And that's what that is. Yeah. Let's see. You know, That's a good question, Tuber Chat. Um, when I look at my analytics, I see it says 3K, and then at the bottom I see it says 4K. So I'm not sure what the difference is other than 1,000K. So I'm just really focusing on 4K. I don't know if 3K would help me. Maybe you could tell me, but I'm not sure. So I'm just, in my head, in my brain, because I know from back in the day, it was 4K. So I'm not sure. Yeah. And Slasher Chick, when I show my analytics, I wish I would have shown them like when I first started. If I was thinking about how I didn't know how impactful this was going to be. But if I would have thought about it, I would have definitely shown what it looked like before I started this 30 or 60-day challenge to what it looks like midway. And then, maybe every 2 weeks, just kind of see where I'm at. I think that would be very powerful and convincing to other people that this method really works. And I don't believe that I'm just getting the dun dunts. I do have a couple of trolls I noticed that's comments are just, you know, I look at those kind of comments like, you know what? That's your thoughts? Okay, thank you. Like one of my shorts, somebody said, "Oh, like you like look at your bags," talking about the bags under my eyes. And I said, "Yeah, I get them from my daddy. Thank you. I love it." Like what do you want from me? I know. It's like I don't know if you'll notice like older people, more seasoned people, like my father's age, they typically will point out things on people that are obvious. And I would tell my dad, Dad, you don't have to tell people that. They know. That's the obvious. Tell them something they don't know. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you can see you have bags. You can see you have gray hair. I don't have any, but you can see certain things. So no one really has to point that out to you. Trust. Hmm. You can't type today. So you know what? I've noticed I've started doing the talk to text even when I do things on other people's lives or videos or whatever, leaving a comment. And sometimes, well, maybe it's my accent. I don't know. But sometimes it doesn't type out the way it's supposed to. And I'm like, what are they doing? Yeah, it is. That's basically what we're doing right now, Slasher Chick. Is a Vlogmas. I mean, it's not Vlogmas, but it's like they have different vlog situations. I forget what the other ones, but Vlogmas, that's around Christmas time, and that would be, I think that would be a powerful one, especially if you do a lot of seasonal things. Like when I went to Biltmore during the Christmas holiday a couple of years ago. But I think you could make it very intentional. Maybe once a week, do something really big around Christmas, and then the other days, and go live when you do it, and then the other days maybe go to different stores and just vlog there, and or I don't know. I just think you could do a lot with that, especially living in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. And this is what I know. There are people all over the world that don't have access to everything. We don't have access. I don't have access to the Eiffel Tower. I don't have access to the Greek Isles. I don't have access to Africa. I don't have access to a lot of things. So that's why I love looking at all different types of videos, because I can have access to it at that point. I showed a picture of a sculpture. I have it on my community wall. If you hadn't seen it, and it's a face, and it's a sculpture that I had seen while I was, out and about in Charlotte. And it is the most interesting sculpture. I hope you all can go and check it out. It's on my community wall, and it's a man's profile. But the way that it's made is gorgeous. It's huge. And so one of the people on my team here on YouTube, she had commented about how she loves sculptures, but she's basically like afraid of them, like how big they are. It's almost like, how some people have a fear of clowns, or a fear of mascots and things like that. Well, she has a fear of large sculptures. However, she loves them, but she loves being able to see them like in a picture or on YouTube. And so that's the thing too. Some people might not prefer something live and in person, but they wouldn't mind seeing it on a video. And that's what we can bring to people. Just like I hear with mukbangers, they say that some people who have challenges with food, when they watch certain mukbangs, it increases their appetite and they're able to eat, and that helps their health. And so it's a lot to it. And there's billions of people that come on YouTube every day, so you don't know who your videos are really touching, hitting, and exposing. So just I say just keep on going. So with the vlogmas, just think whatever your area is. Some people might have snow around Christmas time, and there might be people that had never seen snow before. So if you're taking them out with you as it's snowing in your area, that's interesting. That's something brand new to that person. Or it could just be going out to pick out a Christmas tree. There might be people that's never picked a Christmas tree from, a Christmas tree farm or something. I know one year when we lived in Virginia, my dad and husband, they cut a tree from the backyard, like out in the farm. And that thing, I don't even think it was a pine tree. All I know is it took my mother's breath away. That was the last time my mother walked on that Christmas. That tree was so big, they had to put it in a pot, like not a pot, a bucket, because it wouldn't fit in a Christmas tree stand. I swear, I thought a squirrel or something was gonna fly out of it. It was just a tree. It wasn't a pine tree. It was just a tree, like an oak tree or something. I don't even know. I was just like, what is this? So it was very strong. When you walked into our family room, it was just so strong. So that's why on Christmas morning, my mother, when she came in there, and this is when I was caring for her, it just, the tree, the I guess the sap or whatever the tree gives off, was, it took up too much oxygen or something, and she just couldn't breathe. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, there's different monetization features, like you were saying also, Slasher Chick, about if they wanted to go and do like a Patreon type of thing, they could do memberships on their channel, and that's like a Patreon, and offer something different for the people that's in their tribe to be a member, and you're going to get this extra thing, like you mentioned. If you have a membership, if you do a live or video or anything, you can have a Q&A on that topic with your members, and it's just members only, and that's something special. That's why a lot of things that I share, I could go so deep with it. But I'm like, as my channel grows, I would love to have a membership so that I can go deeper, because I really, really love group coaching, where, it's people that are all there together, that really want to develop and grow and who will take action with the nuggets that are dropped, providing them with different resources and such like that. And that's something I would provide in my membership. So they absolutely can do something to have a different stream for sure. Okay, 3K lets you do memberships. Okay. Yeah, more viewers, more trolls. I'm telling you, when people do stuff like what trolls do, I'm like, you have that kind of time? Is that what we doing? you know, how do you really feel? What's really going on? Are you okay? Because I could not imagine having that much time to come in and try to derail somebody's channel, live video, or whatever by saying nonsensical things. Because you could have just kept going. I had a short and I had a song on the short. I still have it. I don't care. I still have it. Because you know how when you record shorts or you upload them, you can select music through YouTube to put on those shorts. And so there was a song, and I thought it was appropriate, but it was a remix of the original. And the troll was so mad. They were like, "Oh, that song you should like." It's if I did the remix. I didn't even do the remix, but they were so mad. Like, "Oh, no one. You shouldn't have messed with the original version." Okay, well, maybe that's a conversation you're supposed to have with YouTube. I have nothing to do with that. I felt it was appropriate. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, um, who has that kind of time for real? Yeah, I know. But isn't it amazing in real life how there are some people that look for when they look at anything, they're looking for the holes. They're looking for the chips in the armor so that they can go in on it and keep chipping away at it. And for me, I hope you do find those chips in the armor because first of all, nobody's perfect. So just tell me where you saw it and maybe I can patch it up or something. But I just think, that's just such a waste of time. They're always looking for the I gotcha moment or something. It's really interesting. So, we're going to get kind of an early start tomorrow, I think. We're going to go back to the hospital to see my aunt and spend a little bit of time with her. They're taking her back to where she lives and are providing her with care there. Um, it's still, like a very interesting situation. And it's just amazing how when you are in an environment that respects the medical fields and has the proper resources and professionals to do what needs to be done, just how much more at ease it is. And it just takes me back to when I was caring for my mom and how challenging it was because I swear, even though it was like 2008, 9, and 10, it felt like 1950. Just we were in a rural area and it was just horrible and I would not wish that on anyone. But to see like how well cared for my aunt is and her health is going to do what it does, but I know that she's comfortable. I know that she's is currently and will be well cared for. She's really close to two of her children and her youngest daughter. She's a little bit older than me though. Is just a train ride away. She's not too far, and that's the best thing. She doesn't have a worry in the world. I really love how this is really rolling out for her. Yes, I do. I have to drive back tomorrow. Um, I'll be on the road because I have my specialist cardiologist doctor appointment on Monday morning, and I had that. That's my appointment, and I have to go to it. But with my aunt, it was unexpected, and so I found out about her this past week when I was in Winston-Salem, and I immediately knew, like, I'm taking my father to see his sister, and I knew it had to be this weekend. And so um sometimes you just have to, like, bite that bullet and just hope for the best. And whatever I do between now and Monday, I don't think it's going to make a difference with, you know, because we're really just going over some results from my echocardiograph, or what do you call it? It's like a sonogram, echocardiogram. Um, yeah. So I, I I don't think I could do anything really right now. Um, yeah, that is so good. It's so comforting. Even if, she's in and out, her communication isn't as clear as it used to be. Some of the words she's slurring and such, but I heard her say my name and I loved it. Yeah, I have my appointment. Yeah. Um yeah, I could not afford to wait for this. Um and I'm just hopeful that, we get to see her tomorrow. We're going to spend some time and that we can get on the road. I did see how there was traffic on the way back, but hopefully GPS has a different way for us. But I want to try to get back home at a reasonable hour. I would love to get home before dark, even though that might not be a reasonable hour since daylight is longer now. But I want to be able to chill for a little bit at home with my family, and yeah, well, at least with my husband and my daughter, my one daughter. So that's it. Yeah, right. I know it. Slasher chick for sure. So I just wanted to title this as something else Saturday. This hotel is really nice. Um, I joined their rewards. I don't even know. Listen, I was so happy that they had two rooms, and then they were like, "Oh, do you want to join our rewards?" And I was like, "Sure." He said, "So you can get some extra discount, like Wi-Fi stuff." I don't even know, but mind you, it was late. Again, we have been looking for a hotel with rooms for 2 hours. We were hungry. We had our food, but didn't eat it, and tired. Just being tired. And so after we booked the rooms, he said, "Oh, hold on. I'm gonna put you on with the service, whatever, the people that do something with the rewards." And so the lady came on with the reward stuff, and she was saying, "Yeah, we have these specials, and you can select out of these cities if you want to go and get a really good discount on your next travel. And you don't have to tell us the date, but you might want to secure the area, whatever." I'm here trying to, it's night. I'm trying to find the hotel. We have the reservations. Now I'm, following the GPS and trying to see where it's at, because it was about 20 minutes away from where we were at the time. And she was telling me, we have resorts in Vegas, Orlando, New York, Hawaii, a cruise. Let me see, Myrtle Beach, Hilton Head. Um, I just know the places I wanted to go, they didn't have. And so she was like, "Just think about a couple of those areas and you tell me which one you want." So I said, "What about Destin? That's my favorite part of Florida." And she said, "No, we don't have Destin. We have Orlando. We got this, that, and the other." And I said, "What about," I'm thinking now because of my daughter's graduation, I said, "What about Atlanta?" And she was like, "Oh, no, we don't have Atlanta either. We got da da da." And so she was telling me, and let me tell y'all, the deals were amazing. Amazing. Like, I could have done Hawaii, a 6 day, 8 night. I mean, 6 day 8 nights. Does that even make sense? It was like a 6 day 5 night thing for like $137 a night or something like that. Savings of like $1,300. I don't even remember. It was just a lot. Like everything was really a huge savings, and it sounded amazing, you know. And so she was like, "Okay, so which ones you want? And which one do you want?" And I was like, "Look, can I call you back, or can you call me back because I'm trying to find a hotel." And she was like, "No, this is a live call, and you have to kind of do it now, type of thing." And I said, I listened to her a little bit. Then I said, "Listen, I don't me myself." I said, "First of all, it's not going to be just me. So I need to confer with my family to see where, when, who, what, like get that together. And then I don't like to make, I don't care if it's business, but if it got money involved, I don't like to make those decisions when I'm tired, hungry, and in a new location." I said, "I did not call you. I was just trying to get a room. I was trying to reserve 2 rooms tonight. We've been driving since early this morning. I got my 85-year-old father, took him to see his 89-year-old sister, and we haven't eaten. He hasn't eaten. We're tired, everything. Like, this was not in the game plan." And she goes and says, "Is it financial? Is it because you don't have?" I said, "What? Never that. That's not, are you not listening?" Long story short, I said, "You know what? All I could do is hope for the best. And maybe this opportunity will come up again. That's all. That's the best I could do. That's it." Hi, Finley River Kennels. How are you? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Yes, that was reward enough. Having for me tonight, having this room, and it's a very nice room, very nice hotel. That was enough. I'm like, the what you were saying sounds good, but if I have to miss out, I'll just have to miss out. I mean, I was not expecting it at all, so it's no love lost. It's not like, who am I mad at? I didn't. You called me. I didn't call you. So yes. I see Finley River Kennels is speaking. How are your dogs doing? And I meant to ask you, how many do you have? And they're so tall. They're much taller than I expected them to be. Right. Don't rush me. And she tried to say to me, Slasher Chick, she was like, "Oh, I have time. I'll hold on." Look, I had to pull over next to the police because the GPS said we arrived, and I could. You know how if you're staying in a city and you're right up on the hotel, you can't really see if it's the hotel. That's how it was for us. I couldn't see the sign. I'm like asking a police officer in his car, and she heard me, and I was like, "Could you tell me where da da da?" And he directed me, but clearly, lady, I'm lost, low key, trying to get to your other property. At this point, you about to mess them up. But then she was saying how this is her job and she can't do it. She can't. She has to adhere to the rules and enroll me now. Because I'm like, just let me get myself together and let me look at this tomorrow when I have a clear head. So, but she didn't do that. Oh yes, thank you. I'm grateful that you're here listening in. I appreciate that. I really do. I'm just talking, venting a little bit too, I guess, huh? Because this has been something else Saturday. But I was just really glad to be able to have that time to take my dad to see his sister. I think these are just precious moments. And whenever you have that opportunity to be with family and friends, and sometimes friends are just as valuable, and um, they're just as important and loved as family. You really need to take that moment if you can. Yeah. you we you tread a raccoon last night? You rode your mules? I didn't even know you could ride a mule. You rode a mule like a horse? I didn't know that. You could ride them. Why didn't I think that? Wait, let me think. Okay, I know you can ride a donkey. I know you can ride a horse. I know you can't ride a zebra, but you can ride a mule? Huh. What's the difference between a mule and a donkey? Or is there a difference? Just interesting. Really? I love horseback riding. I love it. I can't even imagine because I felt like mules are stubborn. Aren't they stubborn? Like they say, stubborn old mule. That's a saying. They kind of do what they want to do, I thought. How are you able to direct them? You have the reins on them and the saddle? And are they shorter than a horse? Like I'm zebras are like so wild. Are so wild. I think too they're really wide, much wider than a horse, but a zebra is mad wild. I don't even know. A mule's a half horse. I never knew that about a mule that they were half horse, half donkey. Huh. That's really interesting. I'm gonna have to look at them. And so, what's a zebra hybrid of? Huh. A lot of things are more smarter than people these days. Mules, lots of things are smarter than people. That's for sure. That's a good question. Yeah, Finley River Kennels. Did you film that? I've never seen a person ride. My father, because he was a sharecropper and he know about mules. I'm gonna ask him. Did he ever ride a mule before? I'm gonna talk to him about that. Yeah, we had a really interesting question. I mean, conversation today, and he was just telling me about himself growing up. I'd like to hear those stories. How he used to have to work in the cafeteria so that he could get food when he was going to school. But how when he got to high school, this girl liked him and didn't want him working in the cafeteria because working in the cafeteria was, that wasn't a fly thing to do back then or now. Like in some cases, I know, like in college, it's an interesting thing. But hey, if it pays the bills, so be it. And if it's giving you food and you didn't have any, so be it. But she told him she would pay for his lunch so he wouldn't have to work in a cafeteria. And I was like, they was doing that back then. That was like 1940s. That's wild. Wow. A, a zebra's a zebra. So why don't people ride zebras? I know zebras, they are not nice. They're hard to tame for some reason. And that's why I thought they might have been crossed up with something that made them a little meaner than what a horse would be. But horses are very temperamental too. We used to go horseback riding in Mississippi. Myself and a bunch of other women, and I know one of the women, was on her cycle, and the horse kept trying to throw her off. Like he was running her into low hanging branches, and then when we were riding by there was this like lake with sand. He stopped and dropped on the sand and rolled over. She had to jump off. He was about to roll over her. He kept trying to go back to because this place in Mississippi was amazing. First of all, they never gave us a helmet. They gave us a handwritten map with a trail, and at the top of the trail, and the trail was open fields, it was through forest, it was next to water, it was all kinds of terrain. And when you got to the top of it, there was a cabin, and we would have our lunch there, then we would go back. And her horse kept trying to bring her back, kept trying to he kept turning around. Like it was just we couldn't understand. And she was a very experienced rider. And that particular place in Mississippi, they never had a guide with us, like no tour guide, nothing. And this was before cell phones, really. And so I don't know how we used to make it, but anyway, her horse kept doing that. And but when it fell, like dropped and rolled, and she had to jump off, we were like, no, let's just go back. And when we went back, the ranchers, they were like, they asked her, was she on? And she said, yeah. They was like, yeah, sometimes they can be very temperamental like that. Okay. Yeah. I know it, right? Slasher chick. I'm like, she wasn't much more not poor than he was to be talking about, I'm gonna buy your lunch every day. That's good. Yes, that horse was like, you know what? You should have stayed home. Now, see, I want to see somebody ride a zebra. I need to see that. I'm gonna look that up. Somebody has to have that on video. They have to. No, it wasn't. It was not a trail for newbies, not at all. And it took all day. We would go in the morning. This is when I lived in New Orleans, and so Mississippi, was right there. And I found it because when when people would come and visit us, I always wanted to make sure to take them to interesting places. So I would go to the hotels, and I encourage anybody, especially if you move to a new area, go to the hotels, like you know, not the nicest hotels necessarily, but the decent hotels where they have a concierge and they have maybe a list of activities. You know how they have like the brochures and stuff when you first walk in, and you can kind of see the different things that you can do in that area. Well, I used to collect all of those, no matter where we lived, anywhere, LA, St. Louis, well, everywhere. And so when people come to visit, I could be like, "Oh, you want to take a swamp tour and go see some alligators? You want to go to do this or that?" Depending on who they were. And so I always, like to do things with the other wives. And so I was like, "Let's go horseback riding." And so that was kind of like our thing to do every so often, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's a good tip. Whenever you move someplace new or you go, especially if you're going to be there for a long period of time, get to a hotel that has those brochures and those like trifold brochures, and pick all of them up and see what else is out there, because Charlotte is the first place that they found gold. A lot of people think it happened in LA or California rather, but it was in Charlotte. And so the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, the nickname are who are they? I forget what the name is, but it's about Gold Rush. They call things Gold Rush, like 49ers. They're the 49ers. And that's here in Charlotte, not 49ers in San Francisco, but 49ers is the school. And yeah, they have like the museum or whatever where they did the mining. I've done gold mining in the mountains in Charlotte, and not in Charlotte, but in Asheville, which is not too far. And I don't know if they put these, because by now, all the gold and everything was found probably. But when you go mining, they'll put some gems. I believe they put these gems in there, like rubies and emeralds and things like that. But it's fun to do, and it's interesting. Really, what you're doing is you're reenacting how they used to mine with the pan and sifting through the dirt and rocks to find that hidden gem. So that's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, and I didn't know that Finley River Kennels until that time, until that day. hmm You've hunted in Ripley's MS. What's that? What is that? I'm sure someone made some zebra. I know it. Oh, you think they might have done it with AI? I hope not. I hope that is real, because I really want to see that in real life. I really do. Oh, I've never ridden at night a horse. I didn't even, can they see at night? Well, I guess with the carriage ride, I used to take the I used to love taking carriage ride tours through the French quarters in New Orleans. That was a lot of fun. Those carriage rides. Mhm. Okay, Ripley, Mississippi. Huh. I wish I could remember the name of the part of Mississippi we used to do those rides. I have to try and look back and see. But everyone, we are at the top of the hour and at the next day. And I don't want to spill over until into my day 21. This is day 20 still. I want to honor that. But I appreciate everyone for being here and for tuning in and rocking with me thus far. For everyone that has been part of this team, thank you so much. For those that are new, welcome to the team. I am excited to have you here. This definitely is not a one and done channel. I have stick to itness. You'll see that. And I love to share information on workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, real life, real issues, and real talk. I am Coach Sherri, and it's been my pleasure to be here with you this evening. Everyone, stay safe, and I will talk with you tomorrow.